your ankle. Turns out this is the most complicated topic we've done because your ankle, this is not your ankle. Your ankle goes from your big toe all through your hips. And so you have to do a lot of things all the way down in order not to have ankle problems. Plus, the other thing that turns out is, how did we get the ankle problems? If the good news is I went around to a lot of sites and it's not our fault. It's the fault of our chairs and our shoes. So we wear shoes that are inappropriate in many ways. Like for instance, the toes are too tight, so they're more stylish, but then what happens is over the years, you slowly develop bunions. If you wear heels that are high or have lifts in them, what happens is you lose flexibility. This is called your dorsiflexion, this way. And if you lose that, you become more unstable when you walk. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through, I'll just go through the shoe thing with you to get that out of the way. And then we're going to go through some movements. They're all level 1 movements, which are things that aren't really going to put a lot of strain on your body. You don't have to be an athlete, but they are trying to get energy and flexibility back into various parts of your body. The shoe, as I said, I mentioned for your shoes, you want to wear shoes that are not tight on the top, because you want your foot to be shaped like this. What happens is if they're tight, you pull in your toes, and then over the years, it's very subtle. All the problems develop over years. It's not like you put on a pair of shoes and suddenly you have bunions. It takes years and years. So unfortunately, that means to fix it, it also takes an extended period of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start basically your feet. We're going to start with the feet. So your feet have 4 directions of movement. It's forward, back, that's planar flexion, and when you go forward, pull it back. And this is dorsiflexion when it goes forward. So what we're going to do is first we're just going to warm up our feet. So we're just going to hold our feet up and we're just going to rotate our feet, get a little bit of energy going in. Turn both ways. And then have them go out. So when you're doing this, these are all seated. In this one, your legs they're not locked out, but they're straight, because we're rotating it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you want to move a little bit closer to the edge of your chair. You're going to hold your legs up. Your legs are once again straight. So what you're going to do is you're going to do dorsiflexion and plantar flexion by pointing your toes and pulling your toes back. You want to have good posture, so you're pointing and you're alternating. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So if you want to give it, you can either do this, you can do this mindlessly, like while you're watching TV. So that still has some effect, but if you're trying to get more effect, you want to practice it. So when you're doing your breathing and you're focusing on the movement of your feet, when your attention goes someplace, the blood and energy to go to that place. So right now we're focusing on our feet. So going forward, so you want to pull your toes back and push them really forward. So you're trying to just get some energy, strengthen the muscles for those 2 directions. All right, so the second way, so that's 2 of the directions. The other 2 directions are your feet go in and out, inversion and exoversion. So we want to strengthen that. So the way we're going to do that this time, this is, like I said, these are the level 1 movements. So you want to come up, you're going to go back and forth. But so one foot comes up, you're going on the edge of your, outside edge of your foot, and then, you know, on the inside. So you want to be getting a lot of flexing. You don't want to just be doing a little bit. You want to come up as far as you can on the edges of your feet if you're going back and forth. So you can breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So you can do these any time. Like I said, if you're, you know, you can either do it while you're focused actually, or you can do it while you're like sitting in the restaurant waiting for your food, or you're watching something in TV. We're trying to get it so you have more strength, more flexibility in this direction. So the 4 directions that your feet go, sideways, each way, and then forward and backwards. All right, the other thing we want to do is we want to fight against the fact that our toes have been pulled in. This is when you get bunions. So if you watch babies, I'm going to move a little closer here so you can see. In Taoism, babies are considered immortal, so we try to be more like this. If you watch a baby, they're continually opening and closing their feet. This is strengthening the small muscles in your feet. So if you watch a baby, they're continually doing this, opening their toes, closing their toes, opening. So you want to be opening and closing your toes, flexing. That's building up all the small muscles in your feet, which are going to help the alignment of your toes, which is very important when you're walking. This also builds up your plantar fascia. So this is just strengthening your feet. Okay, we'll do the other leg. So you're there opening your toes, closing, open, close. We'll just do that for another minute. So once again, so all these things are trying to build up to here. Have just been loosening up your legs, trying to build up some flexibility and some strength, so that if you like take a misstep, the muscles are strong enough that they can control, you know, so you don't get sprains. Now the other way you can do this, I don't know if you brought these, but either a towel, in this case I'm going to use a paper towel. So what you can do is you reach with put your toes on, you can reach with your toes, and then see you're trying to grab the paper towel. So you can reach. So this is like the next level of that. So you're going to be reaching, so your feet are on the floor, you grab the towel, relax, grab the towel, pick it up. So this is squeezing, this strengthening your feet. Should help you if you have any problems with your arches. So reach, relax. So we're going to be working our way up the legs right now. We're working on the feet and our ankles. So the other thing you can try is if you have a small ball, say, or a marble, you can put that down. And then what you can do is use your foot to pick up the marble, hold it, and then put it back down. Pick up the marble, hold it, put it back down. So that way you're squeezing, just like with the paper towel, you're squeezing, you're maintaining that grip so to speak, well, through the whole movement. All right. So got up there. So now we're going to go up. We want the next part is your calves have to be strong, obviously. So we did this before where we're reaching. Now we're going to have our feet at 90 degrees and we're going to go up. It's the same movement, but you've got your hands on your knees. You can push down a little bit. So this is the same as this movement in the air, except we're putting pressure on, so it's developing the muscles when they're pushing and lifting. They're pushing against something, so they're building up faster. So you're up, down, up, down. So push up. Then when you come down, lift your toes. Push. Okay, and then you can do this. Breathe in, breathe out. So if you want to do it, breathe in, focus, close your eyes, feel. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So these are building up your calves, tibialis, the muscles in your lower legs. So we're moving up from our feet. Push up. Push down. So now, one of the main things is, the amazing part is, if you have problems with your ankles, it can be because your glutes aren't strong enough. If your glutes aren't strong enough, your hips become misaligned, and so when you're walking, your feet won't be aligned properly, and that can slowly build up a lot of problems in your ankles. So we want to build up, before we get to the glutes, we want to build up the muscles in your upper leg. The thing they suggest mostly is to do squats, but that's pretty hard to start with. So I think the easiest one is just when you sit up and you stand up and sit down. So what happens is you're in your chair, you lean forward, you put your shoulder slightly forward, you come up, just stand up very slowly. And now the hard part, now you have to sit down slowly too, because it develops different muscles. So we'll just do three more of these. Slowly stand up. So you want to do it slowly as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back up, because it causes the muscles to build. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and it's very important in your lifting down. Now, what can happen is you're not quite strong enough, so you misalign when you stand up, and this is actually can cause problems. So one of the things I like to do is I use this, although I did tell you to bring a towel. So if you have a towel, you can use that, but for this particular thing, even though I usually don't use a towel, I like to use a block, but since I told you to bring a towel, I'll use the towel. So you take the towel and you put that between your knees, and then you stand up, and that makes sure that your upper body stays aligned properly as you're sitting down and standing up. So you're squeezing that in. Just do 2 more of those. Two, and then 1 more. We'll do 1 more. Up. Remember, you're doing it slowly. That's the important part, especially when you're sitting. You want to do it slowly to build up the muscles on the inner leg. All right. So we're going to go to the glutes for the glutes, and also we're going to go back to the feet. We're going to do the same things, but we're going to do them standing. So I'm going to raise the camera here. Okay, so guess we didn't raise it quite far enough. Okay, so here we go. I think you can see me. So what happens is we're going to do the same movements. Remember, for our feet, which were standing, we're doing this movement again, but the difference is, so we're lifting our toes, lifting our heels, we're going back and forth. You can either do it without a chair, but if you're not used to doing it, it's good to have a chair. So, and the reason, so this is like the next level, because now when you do it, you're having to lift your body weight. So originally we just did flexing it, then we did it with the weight of our legs. Now we're using your whole body weight to build up your calves. So push, stretch, up, stretch, up. Okay, now once again, for various different reasons, you want the proper alignment to happen. So once again, we take our little towel and you put the towel, fold the towel and put it between your ankles. And so now you have to squeeze. Now when you're going up and down, you have to squeeze that. And that actually causes you to use other smaller muscles around your calf. So you do the same thing. You lift. This one we're not lifting our toes. We're just going up on their toes. It's a heel lift. And you're here. So you go up. So this is, like I said, engaging several other smaller muscles in your legs. So you're getting multiple things out of it. Now the other thing you can use the towel for, I have a bigger towel here. When you're doing your heel lifts, like one of the higher levels you do it, you go on your stairs. So when you go up, then when you come down, just your toes are on the stairs. I'm not telling you to do this today. We'll do this in another, I'll do another one on leg exercises. But you want to come up, and then when you come down, because only your toes on, your heels drop. So that actually, you get more flexibility. You work on your dorsiflexion, which is important for when you're walking. Okay, but to start, rather than using it on stairs, what you can do is you can take a towel, and now you can just put your toes on the towel and then do your head lifts. See, so when I come down, see, I get a bit more of a stretch when I come down. So you go up, down, up, down, up. And then as you get better, rather than going to the full stair, you can fold this over again. Now it's getting a bit higher, right? So go here, you can go up. Once again, you use your chair. When you're on the stairs, you have the railing or the wall there to make sure you stay stable. But this is giving you more flex in your calves when you're going up and down. And then, so we've worked in some of the muscles in our feet, in our ankles, in our calves. Finally, in our glutes. The glutes are really important for your ankle, it turns out, because what happens is your glutes control your hips, and so if your hips are misaligned, then when you walk, your feet are misaligned. And once again, we walk for years, we're on our feet for years, so a slight misalignment actually becomes exaggerated over the years, and then you start having hip pain, sciatica, ankle pain. So you want to make sure your glutes are strong to keep your hips aligned. So the thing they usually suggest is doing squats, but you can do, rather than doing the squats, you can start with the chair exercise where you stand up and sit down. But the other one, I actually kind of like this for your glute here, because it works on a lot of different things, on your flexibility too. So what you do is you lift up your leg, and then you lean forward, and your leg goes out. Now, see, my body's straight. You're not lifting. If you really try to lift your foot high, you're going to hurt your back. This is actually to work on your glutes. So you come up, so you're working, building the strength in the front of your leg. You lean forward, and then it goes in a straight line, and you're reaching. So if you feel your butt, your butt should be engaged, your glute should be engaged while you're holding your leg out. So you're coming in, so you're going to breathe in, and then once again, your body's going straight out, but you're pushing your heel out, and like I said, you should feel it in your butt. So you're here, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now, of course, we've got to do both sides. Now, the other thing is, when you're doing this, if you keep the leg that you're standing on slightly bent, then you're building up the muscles. You want to build up the muscles in your upper leg. If your leg's locked, it's not doing that. So you want the knee that you're on to be the leg that you're on to be slightly bent, just very slightly. And this is coming up. So this is actually working a lot of different muscle groups, even though it's a very simple one. So you push out. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, lift your knee up, push out, lift your knee up, push out, push out. Okay, so just some other simple ones. When you go to the kitchen and you're making the coffee and you're going from place to place, you can actually, if you want to build up the muscles in your feet, you can stand on your tiptoes, so you can walk around while you're making the bread or whatever. You can walk around on your tiptoes, just like there's all these things, just like walking in your shoes take years, subtle. It's very subtle, so it's the same thing. If you do all of these things over time, build up. For instance, if you have bunions, it's claimed that these, separators, toe separators, actually work. But the thing is, they're very subtle because they separate your toes. So if you don't want to be doing your toe exercise like the baby, once again, the babies are opening and closing their feet, you can use the separators, but it takes, in the study they did it for a year, and they noticed some change. It actually started reshaping your bunions, but all these things are very subtle, so you can't just do them once and say, oh, it didn't work. So once again, so the things like walking on your tiptoes in your bare feet, they just found walking in your bare feet a lot. So around your house, instead of using any those dangerous shoes we wear, if you walk on your bare feet, they actually found that strengthens your feet and helps reshape them. But once again, it takes several months. All right, so what we're going to do, I guess, is we'll do one last thing. Since we're doing Qigong, like I said, all those things, you can just do them, which is still good for you. It's like if you lift weights, but you can also lift weights where you focus on feeling the muscles and trying to get energy to go there. So that's kind of the difference between exercise and Qigong. That doesn't mean that exercise isn't valuable. It's just that if you do Qigong, the Qigong mental stuff with it, you progress faster. But even though you're doing the same movements, so that's the only thing. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to just leave. So we're going to reach up and pull down some energy, breathe in, breathe out. We're going to put our hands on our navels. You're going to have your feet together. So this is actually another one for your ankles. So your feet are touching. So now you're kind of unstable. So if you just relax your whole body, you'll feel you're kind of shifting around. This is called bamboo in the wind. So now you're shifting subtly from side to side. But if you focus, you can focus just on sensing how the muscles in your feet are adjusting to make sure, to watch your balance. And we're just going to take, we'll take 5 breaths. So you're going to breathe in, shoulders relax. You're breathing in with your abdomen. Breathe out. You want to pull up your pelvis slightly. Breathe in, your tongue goes to the top of your mouth. This is the way we normally breathe during our practice times. Breathe out. Breathe in with the abdomen. Breathe out. Breathe in. You just want to feel, relax the energy flowing through. But you want to be aware of your feet, what's going on in your feet. Breathe out. We'll do 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then breathe in, breathe out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to reach up. We're going to gather energy from the sky, from the earth, from the sky, and push it down through, clearing everything out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then we'll do 1 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then body, mind. We did something good for our body and our mind. All right, we're going to have a question and answer period.